Now I know how low I can go as a man. I know how it is to be in a rut, to feel hopeless and helpless, in need of some genuine and authentic guidance. And therefore I share this. Because I too was that man that craved, needed positive influence. And there are many videos on here like this that simply by watching and listening and observing and putting them to practice had allowed me to realize this guidance, this inner guidance that is always with us. And these videos simply pointed to that which was already within me. But hey, it says low battery. Not in this, on the phone. But I lacked that guidance in human form, in the form of a person. And of course, the Lord is both in form as a person and formless. And this formless essence is realized to be our sexual energy, especially when a man commits to celibacy. And that's really the heart of this video. That's where the inspiration arises to share this video. Because before I get off on a tangent, I want to say, before people click off, because I know some people don't have the highest level of attention span. So I basically want to say, hey, I used to be that dude that masturbated all the time. And of course, I had real sex too. I tried sexuality. But I realized its futility because it's temporary. But by committing to celibacy, I realize now, hey, as I retain this sexual energy within me, it builds up so abundantly that it's basically an orgasm within me. And it just keeps compounding over time. That pleasure that is a few seconds when you release that energy, when instead you choose the path of celibacy or long-term semen retention, I realize not everybody is cut out mentally for lifelong celibacy. And that's okay. We're all at different points along the journey. I'm certainly not judging anybody. And that's why I mentioned the past. Hey, I used to be that dude that masturbated. And that was engaged in the charade of what we can say generally is modern sexuality. And I tried that. And luckily, I'm so grateful that as a young man, I saw through it very quickly. And how it's very empty. And I used to look at couples and be jealous and think, wow, they look so happy. I wish I had what they had, what they do. But now I look at couples and I think, wow, I'm glad that phase is over it. And I'm not knocking anybody that is in a genuine happy relationship. But those genuine relationships seem few and far between nowadays. Because true relationships based on happiness are founded in spirituality. And they're rooted in friendship. That's a true relationship. It has nothing to do with bodily indulgence and sexual indulgence. And we don't want to neglect this aspect of the human experience. But a lot of people never grow out of it and see through it. For instance, my dad. Now, I'm not the past. As I speak to you now, even what I said a few seconds ago is not the point. This is the point. And that's why I can so freely and openly and confidently talk about what I've been through personally, because I don't identify with the personality, and certainly not the past. But I share this for relatability. Now, my dad, like I said, I didn't have the best human influences at times. And a guy I look up to, he got caught in a stinger operation for basically lusting after children. And this brings to mind something that Pastor recently told me. How, hey, I don't have an issue with people, similar age, finding each other physically attractive. That's understandable. But what I really don't get, and what really gets to me, is seeing how adults abuse and fondle and think and lust after little children that don't know any difference, and they're so impressionable. They don't see that this child is a holy, innocent temple. And there's a pastor, widely recognized, widely known, who got caught, touching the kids in inappropriate ways. And a few months later, after he served a sentence or punishment, whatever that was, he's back in the pulpit. And both Pastor and I are like, can you believe it? This guy's preaching after what he did, and he's in a seeming position of authority. People are looking up to him, and he's probably just regurgitating from memory, reading from a book, but not actually living and being the practice. Not actually a man embodying the principles and living it, and thus knowing it, because anybody can regurgitate it, something they heard formerly in the past from memory. But unless you embody the truths, unless you're a person that applies the principles and lives them, then what's the point? If one man listens to this and it makes a difference, then I'm living my purpose. As I said in the last video, beauty is really a spiritual quality. It has nothing to do with appearance. And thus, we don't want to judge a book by its cover. We don't want to see things on the surface. We don't want to say, hey, this person seems to be in a position of authority, so therefore I trust them. Because we all have that natural innocence that wants to trust everything around us. But with discernment, we see through a lot of things that others may not see through. And thus we want to share this because it's made a difference as far as our subjective experience. So, in seeing the world as one's very own self, as seeing everybody else as a reflection and extension of one's own inner being, seeing everything as one being, you want to share this knowledge that has been revealed to you within, so that it can uplift. What is life's purpose other than the upliftment of human consciousness? purity. A lot of people think of purity and they think the body, the physical body. But really, purity on a deeper level is purifying illusions of the mind, attachments, and cliches and excess thinkingness. Because from a higher standpoint, all identifications are illusions. And when you really understand that you're only subject to what you hold in mind, then nothing in the world can affect you. It can affect your inner experience. Whatever the situation or circumstance, it can't touch your inner bliss. Because you see that everything is one consciousness appearing on the screen of space. A space which doesn't separate but connects us. And thus you don't see the seeming other based on their appearance in order to extract some pleasure from them in terms of sex. And looping back to what I said, how I used to be that dude that masturbated. And yeah, I had real sex too. But porn, they're big time actors and actresses. Anybody getting off to some other people's so-called success in the bedroom, that's real weakness. And I'm not judging anybody again, because I used to be that dude. I was that weak-minded person. And sex is not success. Especially if you're the witness of it on a screen. And of course, you're watching this now on a screen, or perhaps you're listening to it. However, not all videos are created equally, are created from the same inner quality. Of course, fundamentally, everybody, all of humanity, is created equally as an extension and expression of divinity or sexual energy. That, hey, when I commit to celibacy, this builds up again within me so abundantly that I realize, hey, it is my identity. It is eternal energy. It is eternity. It is the fire, the aliveness, the abundance within me. And you see this so clearly. And you think back previously, hey, I can't believe I was that dude that was mindlessly releasing this energy. And you don't judge yourself, because now you live within a different context, a higher level of awareness. So you cast no judgments. Who am I to judge anybody or anything? If I seem to be judging anybody, really, I'm judging myself based on past experience. And I'm just sharing this. Not based on memory, not planned, not with any intent to get anything out of it. Because it comes from the heart. And it may not sound too smart, but that's okay. It may not seem reasonable and logical to all people. But I trust that whoever's meant to see it will. Whatever happens, happens. If it's meant to be, it will be. And as I am, eternity, not this body. Really? I'm just happy to be sharing. A lot of dudes may not think it's cool to be caring. But it's certainly a hell of a lot better than being careless. Oh, we missed him. I heard the squirrel in the background, darn it. In another video titled The Highest Levels of Truth. A few minutes in, there's a squirrel running across the window in the background. And I just heard him again in the other room. I wanted to get him on video, but we missed him. That's okay. Like I said, these videos are spontaneous, so we simply go with the flow, and whatever wants to be said comes out. And I appreciate you watching till the end of the video. The heart is beating, but I'm not breathing. Just to bring awareness to every single breath. See how long you can maintain that. How long can I focus on my breathing and thus my inner being? Because you realize, hey, the body breathes itself. But what is this? What is this source within us? This essence which is causing this very existence? What is the source of bliss and abundance? Of course, it's none other than my very life essence. Which is within you too. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you can't escape it. You're it. Remember it.